June 16, 1971. A legend was born in East Harlem, but this isn't the story you think you know. While the world remembers Tupac Shakur as a revolutionary rapper who died too young, there's a hidden chapter that almost no one talks about. Before the fame, before the controversies, before death row records, there was a boy who performed ballet, studied Shakespeare, and wrote love letters and poetry that would make you cry. This is the story of Lesane Parish Crooks, the kid who became Tupac, told through the secrets his closest friends and family rarely share. By the end of this video, you'll understand why his mother changed his name, what he was really doing the night before he was shot, and the eerie prediction he made about his own death that will send chills down your spine. This is Tupac, the Untold story. Most people know Tupac was named after a Peruvian revolutionary. But here's what they don't know. His mother, Makaveli Shakur, was pregnant with him while she was in jail, facing a 300-year prison sentence as one of the Panther 21. She defended herself in court while carrying Tupac and won her case. 1 month and 3 days after her acquittal, Tupac was born. But his birth name wasn't Tupac. It was Lesane Parish Crooks. When he was 1 year old, his mother renamed him Tupac Amaru Shakur, after the 18th century Incan revolutionary who was executed for leading an uprising against Spanish rule. The name means shining serpent in Quechua. She wanted him to carry the weight of revolution from the very beginning. Here's something even fewer people know. Tupac's godfather was Elmer Geronimo Pratt, a decorated Vietnam War veteran and high-ranking Black Panther who spent 27 years in prison for a murder he didn't commit. His godmother was Jada Shakur, the legendary activist who escaped from prison and fled to Cuba. Revolution wasn't just in his name. It was literally his family. Growing up, Tupac moved constantly. By the time he was a teenager, he'd lived in multiple cities, often in poverty, so severe that his mother struggled with addiction. There were nights when young Tupac went to bed hungry, nights when they had no electricity, nights when they had to move because they couldn't pay rent. But his mother made sure of one thing. He understood his legacy. At age 12, Tupac enrolled in the 127th Street Ensemble in Harlem. And here's where the story gets surprising. This kid from the streets, this future gangsta rap icon, played Travis Younger in A Raisin in the Sun. He performed in Shakespearean productions. His teachers remember him as brilliant, emotional, and hungry to express himself through art. In 1986, Afeni moved the family to Baltimore, and this is where Tupac's transformation truly began. He enrolled in the Baltimore School for the Arts, one of the most prestigious performing arts high schools in America. And here's what will shock you. Tupac studied jazz, ballet, and poetry. reveal the shocking prediction he made about his own death, take a second to subscribe to this channel. We're uncovering untold stories about hip-hop's greatest legends. And if you love deep dives like this, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Hit that subscribe button, and let's keep going. 1991, Tupac released his debut solo album, Tupacalypse Now. It was raw, political, and controversial. Dan Quayle, the Vice President of the United States, publicly condemned it after a teenager claimed the album influenced him to shoot a state trooper. Tupac was 20 years old, and already the government was talking about him. But here's what people forget. While Tupac was rapping about social issues and violence, he was also deeply sensitive. He cried easily. He wrote constantly in journals that he kept private, and he had a code of loyalty that was unbreakable. In 1993, a young black child named Q.E.I.D. Walker Teal was killed by a stray bullet in Marin City. Tupac not only attended the funeral, he quietly paid for it. He didn't publicize it. He didn't use it for image. He just did it because that's who he was. When a fan in a wheelchair wanted to meet him, Tupac spent an hour talking with him, missed his interview, and didn't care. Stories like this are everywhere, but they're buried under the controversy. And there was plenty of controversy. In 1993, Tupac was charged in a sexual abuse case that he maintained his innocence on until his death. In 1994, while that case was still ongoing, he was shot 5 times in the lobby of Quad Recording Studios in New York City. He was robbed of $40,000 worth of jewelry. And here's the detail that changed everything. Tupac believed people he considered friends, including Biggie Smalls and Sean Puffy Combs, knew about the shooting in advance and didn't warn him. The next day, against doctor's orders, Tupac checked himself out of the hospital and showed up to court in a wheelchair. The photograph of him in that wheelchair, middle finger raised, bandaged, and defiant, became iconic. 3 hours after the verdict, where he was found guilty on some charges, he was sentenced. He would eventually serve 9 months in prison. But even in prison, Tupac was creating. He read extensively. He wrote, and he signed a deal with Death Row Records, run by Suge Knight, that would change the trajectory of his career forever. Suge posted his $1.4 million bail, and Tupac walked out of prison with a new mission: domination. 1996 was Tupac's most prolific year. He released All Eyes on Me, the first double album in hip-hop history. It sold over 566,000 copies in the first week. He was everywhere: movies, music, interviews. But those close to him noticed something dark. Here's the chilling part. Tupac talked about death constantly. In multiple interviews throughout 1996, he said he didn't expect to live past 30. He told his friends he felt like he was living on borrowed time. In one interview, he said, quote, "I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee you that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us." On September 7, 1996, Tupac attended the Mike Tyson vs. Bruce Seldon boxing match in Las Vegas. Afterward, in the lobby of the MGM Grand, Tupac and his entourage got into a physical altercation with Orlando Anderson, a known Crips gang member. Security cameras caught the whole thing. Here's what most people don't know about that night. Tupac wasn't supposed to go to the club afterward. He was tired. He wanted to go back to his hotel. But Suge Knight convinced him to make an appearance. They got in Suge's black BMW 750. Tupac wasn't wearing a seatbelt. At 11:15 p.m., while stopped at a red light at the intersection of Flamingo Road and Koval Lane, a white Cadillac pulled up alongside them. Someone in the Cadillac opened fire. Tupac was hit 4 times. Suge Knight was grazed by a bullet fragment. Tupac was rushed to the University Medical Center of Southern Nevada. For 6 days, Tupac fought. His body was placed in a medically induced coma. His mother, a Feeny, made the decision to take him off life support. On September 13, 1996, at 4:03 p.m., Tupac Amaru Shakur died. He was 25 years old. The murder has never been officially solved. Tupac's legacy isn't just the music. It's the complexity. He was a revolutionary and a contradictory figure. He was a poet who studied ballet and a rapper accused of violence. He was loyal to a fault and suspicious of everyone. He was a son who loved his mother desperately and a man who struggled with his own demons. In his 25 years, Tupac released 5 studio albums. After his death, there have been 8 more posthumous albums. He sold over 75 million records worldwide. But numbers don't capture what he meant. He gave voice to the voiceless. He made people feel seen. And maybe that prophecy was right. Maybe Tupac did spark the brain that would change the world. Because almost 30 years after his death, we're still talking about him. We're still listening. We're still trying to understand. That's the untold story of Tupac. Not just a rapper, a revolutionary son who never stopped fighting.